Hello, and welcome back to this year's first episode of the Anastasia podcast. This is going to be the first podcast of 2026, and it's also going to be the first episode of season 2. I think every year that I keep my podcast going, that's going to be a new season, and it'll just be easier for me how I keep track of everything in my hard drive and then sorting it out on the internet as well. So, welcome everybody. Today, I want to talk about how I rang in the new year and kind of how today went because I talked a big game yesterday. I literally just recorded a podcast yesterday and posted it. It was my last one of 2025. And then today is like putting your money where your mouth is. So we went to my parents last night and my little brother Jacob made like authentic ramen for everyone. And Noli and I got home maybe around 10:30. She went to bed around 11. And I think I was watching her on her crib. And then I went and I laid on our bed and I knew, like, I literally knew I should have went to go wash off my makeup and then went and quickly cleaned up downstairs. Instead, I was like, all right, I'll just wait till she falls asleep. Like, I wanted to make sure she just really settled down. And instead, I started scrolling, which turned into doom scrolling, which is, I literally rang in New Year's at midnight on my phone, not even realizing it was midnight. And then, I don't know, maybe it was like 12:07 and I realized I missed like it literally becoming a new year. And I was like, this is literally why I need to get rid of social media because I am an addict and I have like no boundaries around it. And it always happens. Like doom scrolling always happens to me when I'm tired and I have a million other things to do and I'm overwhelmed. So, right then and there, I logged off of everything because that's one of my goals for the beginning of this year. I want to do a social media fast/hiatus. I I want to like give a moment, like a shining moment right now to a social media hiatus. I cannot run quick enough to a social media hiatus because of how much I love it. And I was thinking about this today when I was kind of cleaning up downstairs. Our house still looks like a bomb post Christmas. We still have the queen size mattress from our camper on our living room floor from when we did a family movie night. And it's like it's been snowing, raining. It's so cumbersome. So I have to help Matt bring it back in the camper. He brought it. I mean, he can do it himself, but I'm always like, I'll help you. But then it's also been so nice to leave it out, even though it looks so having a mattress on our floor, like Magnolia just runs and jumps on it and like falls. And it's just like a great plaything for her. And our house is small for us. Our house is plenty big, but when you don't have a house that you got to build and you don't have a playroom and you don't have all these designated areas for all these things, your rooms become multi-purpose rooms, and literally having a mattress in the living room is crazy, plus the Christmas tree, plus her toys, like, the downstairs looks like a bomb shelter. It's really, really bad, but I did put baking soda in my sink today, and I scrubbed that baby clean, so the sink's probably looking better than it's looked in a really long time. I'm very excited at what my social media hiatus is gonna give me the opportunity to accomplish because I always do more of what I think and say I'm going to do when social media is off the table. I'm also very interested in how this is going to play out because this gives me a point of contact with people still on like I guess the interweb, like my friends, and I can get the part that I love about social media, the checking in and talking about certain topics and whatever. I'm going to get to do that here, but I don't have to like I'm not gonna be in both worlds, posting on my stories, whatever. Yesterday, when I was driving home from my parents, I utilized a feature on ChatGPT that I'd never used before, and it was the talking feature. And it's so weird because whenever I'm talking into the phone, I'm doing talk to text. So you'd already talk a little weird if unless I'm leaving a voice note, then I'm just talking normal. But because I was making sure I was enunciating everything well so it could transcribe it properly, but I was essentially asking it if there are any platforms available that I could upload if I end up making reels of this podcast to that platform and it upload it to my Instagram, to YouTube, whatever. So I don't physically manually have to be the one to do it. And there are such things. And lo and behold, some of them have like some of them, it's $250 a month for the membership fee. And I'm like, okay, what I will say is this is definitely what influencers use because there's not enough time. Like the way social media is designed to like grab your attention, pull you in, suck you in. That's how people get freedom from the matrix, essentially. It's like you're not the one posting your content. All you do is you use your phone whenever you need to phone, you get the content, and then you push it off to your media team, and they're utilizing that hub, and that's how your content gets out there. And I think yesterday realizing that, I was like, man, I've been playing a fool. Okay. And then when I was taking notes for what I wanted to talk about in this podcast, I also was thinking about how, for the most part, social media is used like recreationally for like funny stuff and just to pass the time. And it's like kind of like, people used to watch TV shows, and I know people still do that now too, but everybody like scrolls for a little bit before bed, or like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, let's see what the world was doing on social media. And it's to me, it's almost like a slow drip of a drug designed for when they need to grab our attention in big ways for social issues or whatever. Like that's when they like that drip becomes like a faucet, and it really like everybody gets captivated and you're spending even more time on it and things like that. And then it's feeding you this like civil unrest and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, social media is just terrible. Like, it's literally just terrible. So, I'm excited to just get a moment to breathe away from it. In my last podcast, I know I talked about when it is time to return to social media, what I want that to look like, because I want it to be intentional and I don't want to contribute to the noise. So, I'm excited to give myself the opportunity of just time, like the pause of time to just think how that's going to look. I don't even have to think about it now. I'm not sure how long my social media fast is going to last, but I'm looking forward to just giving myself the space to get breathing room away from it. Even today, like I think I tried to open Instagram on my phone twice. I haven't deleted it yet, just in case I do need my passwords to utilize one of those like distributing platforms for reels or content or whatever. But I'm fully logged off, and the 2 times that I opened it, I'm like, "Wow, this is, like, how I would have gotten sucked in." And just consciously knowing that it's not the time for social media, how much more I've plugged into at home. I picked a new book that I'm gonna not a new book, I'm always rereading books I've read before, but I picked my first book that I'm gonna read in 2026, and it's You're a Badass at Making Money. I love Jen Sincero, so I'm just diving right into her second book because I always love things that make me think about why do I think the things that or why not only why do I think the things that I think, but why do I believe the things that I believe? Some of the things that I'm looking forward to with not being on social media over the next couple weeks, months, whatever. I like said I would do it for a year. I really don't think I could last that long. But I'm just looking forward to having the time to actually do some stuff around the house that I never get the time to do, like diamond art. I'm not saying coloring, but crafts, getting into my garden, all these things that I always think I don't have time to do, but I actually have ample time of it. And something else I want to do, two things. One, I want to go back on my phone and see what my average time weekly was for social media use, because I think hard statistics like that will make me sick to my stomach, and I think that'll be a really good driving factor for staying away from it. And then second, I want to get on top of once and for all my photos and my videos in my phone. I just needed to download the app for these cameras on my phone because normally we just use two iPads in here for the different cameras. I also am trying something new with like, I have a second camera set up here. We always have two cameras set up when it's me and Matt, but I want to try to do two angles when I'm talking. And the podcast I uploaded last week, this was set a little too zoomed in on my face, but you know what? We're still learning and we're figuring it out. So this is only at like 1.5 zoom. We'll see how it goes. But I was very surprised how much I didn't mind editing like this, because usually with one camera, it's just way freaking easier. But what was I saying? Oh, I needed to download the app for these cameras, and my phone literally said I had to delete other apps in order to download that app. I wanna say like 90% of the apps on my phone are already offloaded in the cloud, and whenever I need to use them, it'll re-download it. So I go and I look on our family plan because 'cause I'm like, "What is taking up so much storage in my phone?" We have a 6 terabyte plan between just Matt and I, okay? 6 terabytes. Do you know how much I use? 3.1. I really need to go through a lot. For I feel like 2 years of my life, I filmed everything in 4K, like 60 frames per second, and That's just insane. So anyways, cleaning that stuff up, the things that we never actually put time aside for, but they really affect us. Like, how many times do you go to do something actually important? Your phone's like, you have no more storage. I hate that stuff. And you don't need to keep buying more storage. Like 6 terabytes is astronomical. That's crazy. It's just I'm the problem and I'm aware. So if not now, when? Another thing I wanted to say is after I finished my doom scrolling last night and logged off all of my socials, I was like, okay, there's a big shift that I want to do this year on my health. When I was writing my goals for this year, I really was trying to set myself up for success in that when I'm focusing on my health, if I'm trying something and it's not working, the goal is to pivot instead of give up. So, like, okay, quitting sugar. This is my first day of quitting sugar. This was hilarious because the first thing I did when I was making my coffee this morning is I started getting like mad nervous and I'm like, maybe I should like order some stevia from Whole Foods so I can sweeten my coffee. And I was like, or just try your coffee without it and do it for a few days and your taste buds adjust and you're fine. And I'm really curious, like quitting sugar, I don't know why I picked quitting sugar. It was probably because social media fed it to me through my algorithm, but I'm willing to try. Today, I brought all the sugar in my house to my mom's yesterday, like all the chocolates, everything left over from the holidays. And then today I found I have a container still of chocolate ganache, like fudge, in my fridge from when I made the chocolate cake. And I was like, the amounts of times, like when I was opening the fridge to put like milk away or whatever, and I was looking at that, I was like, I need to throw it out because it's not like I have like food noise where I'm like, I need to eat that fudge. I think it's because right now it's off the table for me. I'm like, yeah, but that's in there, and it's so crazy. So I'm really looking forward to how I will feel just at the end of 1 week of cutting out refined sugar. I'm also gonna stay away from fruit this week as well, like, and honey and, like, all natural like, I'm just gonna stay away from it and just give my palate a chance to reset. Have you guys ever given up salt? And then when you reintroduce salt, like, it's crazy how salty things taste like retraining your taste buds is a real thing, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, I don't have like an end goal for how long I want to give up sugar. This is going to be the year of trial and error. So I'm going to find things that work. If it's too hard, because I've always had a sweet tooth, if it's truly too hard to give up sugar and I need to have like Zevia soda or liquid stevia for my coffee or whatever, I will find what I need. And I was thinking like, I think if I can have like one dessert a week or something like that. So maybe all week I can be like, oh, well, Matt and I are going to go out on this day. And then I can grab like froyo or whatever. I don't know how long I'm going to quit sugar for. I don't really have any parameters about this. So much of this year is going to be just feeling something out. And if it's worth keeping in my routine, I'm going to continue forward with it. And if it doesn't really work out for my life, I'm not going to, so much of my life is still hard. I'm not going to make my life harder. But with like focusing on my health, if certain things don't work, like, okay, I'm going to try to get back to doing 10K a day. So what does that mean? If I'm hiking my dog, I'm going to go the long way. Even today, like Volk didn't want to go the long way. I think because he could smell the coyotes in the woods and he barked at one point and like howled in the direction that I was trying to go. And I was like, all right, don't be a chicken, Anastasia. I'm like, all right, Volky, this way. I'm like, all right, he's not wearing a muzzle. So if he needed to attack something, he could. But if I'm already going on a walk, I'm going to make that walk count. I just found when I was going through the storage in my phone, 3 ebooks that I bought, I don't know, like 5 years ago, probably longer, of like at home exercises. I was like, this is great. I will print these out and I will implement that into my routine. It's just, I'm going to try things. And if I can get it to stick, great. If it doesn't work, instead of quitting and going back to, because I hate not feeling good, instead of like going back to old sedentary, not feeling my best ways, let's try something else. Like maybe I'll try a group class this year or an individual class. Maybe I'll go do spin. My whole thing is something that I've never liked about the gym is where we live too. We live in the woods, getting up, getting there, then doing your workout, then going home. Plus, I still hike the dog. Like, I don't need to beat a dead horse. We've done it so many times. It does not work for my life. The most consistent I've ever been in the gym in my life is when I lived at my parents'. And I think it was Planet Fitness. I went to Planet Fitness and I went at least 5 days a week when I finished work. And that's when I was in the restaurant industry, and I literally it was right down the road, and I was at the gym. Planet Fitness was 24 hours. I was at the gym consistently at midnight or 1 AM all the time, all the time, and it worked for my life, but obviously that's not feasible. So it's new levels, new devils. You have to find things that work for the season that you're in. With there being a focus on health, I also, I've written down and said so many things, and I know the best way to set yourself up for failure is to overcommit. So I'm gonna, see what sticks, see what I can implement later, do slow rollouts. But with trying to get to bed earlier too, I really want to be intentional about. I already still write in Magnolia's journal every single night, which I'm really proud of myself for. And it doesn't matter how tired I am. I tell myself like it takes less than 5 minutes, just do it. I have a red light therapy mask and I want to get better at using it more consistently and really see if it improves my skin. Because I've noticed, especially, I'm not a girl who goes and gets facials. Like, I just do the simple aging maintenance that everybody else does. Don't do filler, none of that stuff. But I really want to work on my skin texture and just, I'm like, my skin is just tired and dehydrated. And like, my skin has more texture than it's ever had, and I'm like, "Okay, I just wanna do a little bit more R&R for me." And that's what this year is about, focusing more on myself while I'm solely focusing on Magnolia. So I guess that's it. That's all I have for today's episode. Just kind of where I'm starting at on January 1st, 2026, where my mindset is at. I will say I had way more energy like an hour and a half ago when I was cleaning the kitchen. I really should have just gotten my butt upstairs and recorded the podcast then. Instead of like, I just feel like the wear of the day has worn me out. So I'm trying my best here. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the slow rollout. Even today being January 1st, I was like, all right, I had like a burger with eggs for lunch, like a late lunch after our long hike with the dog, mine and the dog's hike. Matt was sleeping. And I really didn't put pressure on myself to go above and beyond with like weights or strength training today. I'm going to figure out my groove. But while I actually was writing my notes for my podcast, I was like, okay, if I don't figure out a time of the day that going in the basement and working out with my weights and maybe getting in a routine, listening to a certain podcast or watching a certain show, like I have to make it work with my life. If I don't pick a time that I'm going to aim for every day to do that, it's going to get thrown around and lost in the mix. And I was kind of like, all right, maybe I should be doing this with cleaning too, like have certain windows of the day where I focus on cleaning because otherwise it just feels so out of control. And then that's what we have going on right now. It's just like the chaos after the holidays, and you are still then doing laundry and every single like daily kitchen sinks, whatever, dishes, all that stuff takes so much time that you feel like you never even have enough time to like catch up on all the new mess and cleaning bathrooms and whatever. So, anyways, that's same old, same old. I'm looking forward to everything that 2026 is going to bring, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.